So we have been looking at solving inequalities, and just to kind of review a few things. Remember, if it's in this form where you have your variable and then your inequality and then a number, then these things will happen every single time. So if it's greater than or less than, we are going to have an open circle because we're not including the number. If it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle. And if it's greater than or equal to, we're going to go shade right. If it's less than or equal to, we're going to shade left. And then also we want to remember, key thing, we can add and subtract both sides. It doesn't change the inequality, but if we multiply or divide both sides has to be multiplied by the negative. Then you reverse the inequality or flip the inequality. So this is all the stuff that we've done up until this lesson, or in inequalities, and these things aren't going to change. This is going to be the key thing to everything. So we want to make sure it's in this form: variable, inequality, number, and then all these rules will apply, and then remember the multiplying and dividing. So now we're going to look at multi-step equations or inequalities. So let's look at just an example of one that you might see in everyday life here. You probably wouldn't write the inequality, but you can see where you use it. So Adriana has a budget of $115 for taxes. The tax services she uses charges $25 to activate an account and 8 cents per receipt to file taxes. How many receipts can Adriana tax and stay within her budget? So we're using this inequality: 25 plus 0.08f is less than or equal to 115. So that's what we're going to start with. So she's got to pay that 25 first, and then we got to see how many 8-cent receipts she can put in. So you can think of this, it's going to be the same steps if whenever you see a problem that you haven't seen, or a type of problem you haven't seen in math, try to think of something that you know, or an easier problem. So this would be equal to 115 would be kind of similar. So we're going to do the same thing we would do here. We're moving numbers first, and then we unattach from the variable. So we want to get numbers to the side that has only numbers. So this side has only numbers, so I'm going to move the 25 over there. And I want to move first, so subtract 25 from both sides. So 115 minus 25 is 90. So I have, this is 0.08f is less than or equal to 90. And then now I want to unattach that 0.08. So how many 8 cents receipts can we have? I have 90. So 90 divided by 8 cents, 8.08. Then the amount of receipts that she can have, F, has to be less than or equal to 1,125. So she can have at most 1,125 receipts. So I'd pause the video, try this one out, and see if you get the correct answer. And that, remember, when we work problems on our own, that's when we're starting to learn it and really see it. So pause the video, see it, work it out, and then check your answer. Right, so let's look at this. We're going to be doing some graphing today. So this is just your basic multi-step inequality. So we have this. We're going to move numbers to the right because looking at this, I have a number here and I don't have any variables over here. So let's get this over there. So subtract 3. So negative 8y is greater than negative 8. Okay, notice I didn't flip the inequality when I subtracted 3 on both sides. Subtractions you don't. Division or multiplying by a negative you do. So now I want to move unattached this negative 8. So I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 8. So since I divided both sides by a negative 8, I'm going to flip the inequality. It's not because of this negative 8, but because of these negative 8s. So it has to be both sides by that. So I have y, flip this to less than 1. Otherwise, it wouldn't be true. And we are going to graph in your homework, so I want to talk about graphing these. Make sure we have that down. So it's going to be open circle at negative 1 because we want to graph all the y's or all the numbers that are less than 1 but not including 1. So open circle, arrow going to the right. So you should use a number line, not just like, don't do something like this. You want to actually have a number line if you're drawing it out, I think. So make sure you do that. All right, we're going to look at where if I have to write it out, if it's written out. So 4 times a number, so 4 times a number, so 4x times a number plus 12 is less than the same number minus 3. So now I have variables on both sides, numbers on both sides, so there's not one specific way to move things. But I know that I want it in the form of like variable, sign, inequality, and then number. So I'm going to move numbers to the right and variables to the left. So I'm going to move this x over to the left. So I have 3x plus 12 is less than negative 3. And now I'm going to move the 12 to the right by subtracting it. So I get 0 there. So 3x is less than negative 15. And then I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm not dividing both sides by a negative. It's positive. Even though there's a negative on this right, what I'm dividing by is not a negative. So I'm going to have x. I'm going to leave it as less than and negative 5. Now my graph, try to get that line a little straighter. Here, open circle because it's not equal to, and arrow is going to the left. Okay, let's look at one more. 6 times a number is greater than 4 times the number minus 2. So I've got variables on both sides. I'm going to move the variables to the left since that's the proper form we want. Subtract 4x. So 2x is greater than negative 2, and then divide both sides by 2. So x is greater than negative 1. Then I'm going to graph, because again, we're going to have graphing. So negative 1, open circle, arrow going right. All right. We're going to do distributive property on the next lesson. So delta math. So if your assignment's on delta math here, you're going to have some linear inequalities like this. We're going to solve this out. So first solve it out. Subtract 5. I'm not going to be able to do it. You get 7x is greater than 47. And then divide by 7. So x is greater than 6. So x is greater than, so I'm going to click on that, 6. Because I subtract 5, got 42, divide by 7 and get 6. So there's my inequality. On here, you're going to go to 6 and you're going to go like hold it down. So click on it and then drag over in the direction you want to go, and then click on your closed circle here, if it's going to let me, to change it to an open circle. So there's the open circle, and then I'm going to submit my answer. All right. If you have questions, let me know.